you guys doing out there? Just wanted to show you something that I had came across, and something that's actually helped me so far with school, and is also something that I personally found that can actually be a tool in case of emergency, in case you get displaced for some reason or another. Sorry, I always have cleaning wipes with my electronics here. But let me show you. This is the Kingston 5-in-1 mobile companion. It has a lot of features built in. Some of them you might use, some of them you might not. But what I found, it definitely helps for the purposes that I need to use them for, and I want to kind of give you a brief rundown. There's a lot of videos on it. I just want to show you my take on it. So it's not going to be an in-depth technical video, but I just want to show you how I use it. Now, the Kingston 5-in-1, what it is, it's kind of like a wireless bridge where, especially if you're running a tablet, like unfortunately I have a tablet, I got it for relatively cheap, and it's a Kindle, and of course you see the ads here, and it only has 4 gigs of onboard memory. Unfortunately, the model that I happen to have, you cannot add external SD card to it. So you're forced to use a cloud service, or you're constantly deleting and uploading and deleting and downloading. So this actually helped bridge the gap, and I actually received this, and I decided to get something like this. I didn't realize about the memory until it was too late, but I wanted to get this as a replacement for my tablet that I have that contains most of my maps and topography for my area. But let me get into this. You have the function, this comes with mini micro SD charger, instructions, and that's pretty much it. But it's nice and simple, it's streamlined. Actually, I have it connected now. This is actually power, Wi-Fi, and this is for when you're bridged, if you can see those 3 little lights there. Now this is where you would charge it. This is a power. Now it has no onboard storage, which for many might suck, but I have an external hard drive, so I can actually plug this in and use it that way. And I'm going to get into some of the functions here. What you can do, if you happen to be displaced and something happens, you go to a hotel and you have this, and there's multiple members in your party, you can actually take that Ethernet cable, plug this in. As if it's password protected, if everyone knows the password, you guys can share information, upload information, and communicate that way. If you guys have any information that you want to store and you wanted to, for example, upload health information to the SD card, or if you had a USB plugged in or whatever, you can actually share that information in times of crisis, or just if you need it. So it's kind of, it kind of works out well that way. If you don't, you can actually, if you don't have an Ethernet cable, you could actually connect via Wi-Fi, which is why that blue light happens to be on right now, because it's actually connected to the home Wi-Fi, and I can actually pull up files that I happen to have. Now, let's see if I can get on here to show you. Let me adjust these lights. Let me enter my pin here. Now, as you can tell, I was studying respiratory system. This is the mobile app, which happens to be the Mobile Light wireless app, which you can download from the Google Store or the Amazon Play Store. Now, you guys might laugh at me, and everything is a learning process. As far as my tablet, as you can see, I can't scroll this way, but when it's turned the long way, you can connect. I was also actually having a problem with my camera because I actually had to take off my CPL filter because for some strange reason it wasn't picking this up. I don't know why it's working now, but of course it's going to make me look like an idiot. Well, anyway, as far as connecting, as you can tell, nothing's listed here. I'm going to go ahead and connect real quickly. Get my password in here. And I'm going to connect to the mobile light here. Let's see what I happen to be able to come up with. Now, this is the Kindle itself. These are all the files. But this here is the SD card that happens to be in here. Now, it streams really well, and it takes a little bit of finagling to get used to, but let me go to my workout videos. Let's see. Put that on there. Streaming. So I have no issues as far as any type of video, audio video. As far as my test folder, this is something else that we were doing in class. PowerPoint. And as you can see, it's loading here. And this should be respiratory. And it came up as PowerPoint. So I can use that. Well, in this program here I can edit, but this is respiratory. Go to full screen, and I'm actually getting the information from this unit here. So this works out well in class as far as it not hogging up my memory, but at the same time I can share this with some other classmates. The one thing I like about the program I happen to be using, I could actually add notes to each PowerPoint. So that's another reason why it helps me. It makes it a lot easier to study. And then, of course, just get out of there and you can go back. And then whenever you're ready to use the system again, you would press this power button here for about 2 to 3 seconds, and you'll see this is the battery. You'll see these lights start to fire up, and if this was actually connected to an Ethernet cable, I believe this is when this one will fire up. But I've been using this with Wi-Fi, and it's been working out. So I mean, if you happen to get displaced, or you guys actually want to share information, you can always be able to pull it up this way. You guys can share files, you guys can share videos. If you're running low on memory on your phone, you can actually upload it. So there's more than enough things that you can do with using a device like this, especially if you happen to have a device that is a memory hog. So just something to put out there. I kind of liked it. It wasn't too expensive. I do have an external hard drive. So what you can also do too, you could also charge your device. So I can actually plug this in directly, just like this. Plug this in directly to my Kindle and plug this in. And as you can see now, it's charging. So you can charge devices maybe twice, depending on what type of device you happen to be using. But I mean, in a pinch, you can use it. Charge up a cell phone, share information. I don't know if I'll ever actually use a USB, but if it's something where, if it's a situation where I need to give out mass information, I have a USB on my keychain at all times anyway with my emergency information. So if anything, I could just plug this in and they will be able to gather the information that's necessary for whatever the situation calls for. Just real quick, I didn't want to go through the programming screens and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure there's videos on that online. But just so you know, it's real easy. Any type of external storage for any of your devices, it will probably be your best bet. That way you don't bog down your internal memory and slow down whatever systems you happen to be using. And like I said, it's pretty easy, pretty cheap, and you don't have to worry about bogging down the memory that you already have. It works with Kindle, works with Android. It's pretty much, seems like it's marketed as a iOS product, but I haven't had any issues or hiccups with it. And I've actually used this in class, and I've actually gotten information from other classmates, and they'll edit things, and we'll edit things together and then upload it, and we could share information, because some of my friends actually don't have Wi-Fi. They don't have internet. Some people just can't afford it, but they were still actually able to take the PowerPoint and take the information home, and whatever other notes they came with, they just re-uploaded the next day because I gave them access to the card. So just something to keep in mind. Just something quick just to show you guys. And you guys have any other ideas as far as memory storage or anything that will be beneficial just in case you need it, let me know. All right? All right, guys, stay safe. Now, this is pretty much for situations. If you're a techie, you could definitely find better, and you probably know a lot more than most people. The reason why I actually made this is because just picture another situation like Katrina, or unfortunately the storm that's going on in North Carolina now. Imagine 5 to 6 family members that have at least 4 out of 6 have cell phones. One might have a tablet. They're all in one area. They realize there's no cell service. Power's going out. They may get displaced. They might have to separate to ensure that everyone else is okay. Joe might have to go this way to see if he can find help in this direction. This one might need to stay with the kids. This one and this one might have to go in that direction. The unfortunate task, sometimes things happen. You might have to identify bodies. You might have to know people's medical history. You might have to know people's allergic reaction to certain medicines, to certain medications. Well, this is what this is actually about. It's not about the technical side of it, so I apologize that I didn't go in depth with that. But imagine if you have 5 or 6 people in a room, 5 out of 6 happen to have some type of device. You might not have cell phone service, but 9 times out of 10 you'll have Wi-Fi. You'll be able to connect to a bridge, share information, and it might work out good for the group that way. That way everybody knows what's going on. Everyone knows if anyone has any adverse effects. And it might work out where even though you're not communicating, in case of emergency, technically you will be communicating, especially if it's on their behalf where they can't talk for themselves. So this video is just pretty much to keep that in mind. That's just my take on it. So stay safe.